Girls think that they want to date a high value man until he starts calling you out for not taking responsibility, before he starts holding you accountable, before he has higher standards for you than you have for yourself. Everyone talks about, oh, date a high value man. This is what you do to have to attract a high value man. But I've never heard anyone talk about like actually dating a high value man takes a totally different kind of woman. It's not for the weak. I have other friends who are dating like very loving, very successful, perfectionist, ambitious men, and it is not for the weak.
Traveled across state lines to go see a man. After spending about like 3 hours with me, this man looked me dead in my face and said, "Hey, I think you should go home now." And I said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "I think you should leave." And I said, "Leave and go where?" And he goes, "Back home." And I'm like, "I'm supposed to be here the whole weekend." And he's like, "But I don't."
You ever notice how some people tell half a story, but just enough to make themselves look innocent? Before we dive in, drop a comment. Are modern men more delusional, or is it the ladies? Hit like and subscribe so you don't miss what we expose next. Now, let's break this down. She says he told her to leave, but forgot to mention why. Convenient, right? Because that missing part, the reason is usually where accountability lives. And when someone deliberately leaves it out, that's not forgetfulness. That's strategy. See, playing the victim is social currency today. You get sympathy, validation, even viral attention. So instead of saying, "I messed up," it becomes, "He was mean. He just told me to leave for no reason." That's how modern manipulation works. It's not about truth. It's about narrative control. And here's the twist. If the reason was really that minor, she'd have shared it proudly to prove her point. But when someone selectively edits reality, it's because the full version doesn't support their story. What we're seeing isn't just one woman doing it. It's part of a larger trend. A generation that's been taught that accountability ruins your image, while victimhood builds your brand. So no, she didn't forget. She protected the part that exposes her. And that, right there, is the real story.
Dating is different over here, okay? If you're moving abroad to Spain, if you're studying abroad, if you're just visiting and you're planning on like doing the dating apps over here, I'm going to prepare you, okay? Because it's different. Number one difference, I would say, is the guys in the USA are way more forward. Like, it is in the culture to approach a girl and be like, "Can I buy you a drink?" And here, they do not do that, okay? I'm not saying it's not gonna happen for you, but it's just less normal, okay? Number two, it's also not completely normalized to pay on the first date. Like, it's not abnormal to split the check. And like, everyone knows it's like completely culturally unacceptable in the USA if the guy tries to split the check on the first date in the USA. Here, it's common.
In Australia is quite tragic.
I really feel for the single people in Australia.
Yeah.
Every woman I speak to is literally like, it is treacherous out there.
Dire.
Like,
Drab.
the men are just so below par. I don't know what's going on. Like, they can't court you properly, or they don't come up to you when you're out, or that it's like so addicted to online dating that it's just constantly a rotor of women. I don't know.
But I feel for men, because I feel like society's actually made it a lot harder for them. They're scared of like, I don't know. It's like obviously there's a very distinct difference between being a creepy person and being a confident person, but I think it's been attacked so heavily that, I don't know, I would feel like it would kind of be nerve-wracking.
So as an American, here are some things I hate about dating in Germany. So first of all, my main thing, and I guess this is a very culture thing, like American thing, is that they do not pay for your drinks here. They will maybe pay for your first drink, and then you have the second round. Yay. So, I'm sorry, but like, I get it. They like want to be like more equal with women, so I don't know. I guess I get their side, but at the same time, like, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not like getting all dressed up, and I'm sorry, but usually wasting my time meeting these men to pay for my 2 gin tonics or 3. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, come on. Like, you seriously want to be a cheap? I don't know. Maybe I'm just in the wrong city. Another thing, and I guess this is kind of like a whole Germany thing, maybe Europe-wide, I don't know, is that they love to go on walks for I am not I don't want to go on a walk. I don't want to go on a walk. I like to go on a walk if it's like a sunny day or not too sunny. Like I don't want to be sweating. Or if it's like, I don't know, like we're going to the park. Like I just don't consider that a date. Like these men will like literally buy you a 1 euro beer and go to the park and say that's a date. Another thing, and I think this is more like if you're dating a German, they will straight up tell you if you look bad. And like, I guess in America we're more wishy-washy, but I prefer that. If my dress doesn't look amazing, just say, oh, like why don't you try on this dress instead? Like that one looks good, but this one might be better. You don't say, oh no, that looks like on you. Like, no, not that one. Like, thank you for your unsolicited opinion. I was asking you to affirm me, not tell me I look.
It's wild how dating today has turned into a game of financial extraction instead of genuine connection. You can almost hear it in her tone. Not interest, not curiosity, just calculation. She's not trying to get to know the man. She's trying to measure his wallet. And what's crazy is, that's become normal. There's this growing mindset that a man's worth is directly tied to how much money he's willing to waste on someone who hasn't even earned his trust yet. But here's the truth. No one wants to say out loud. The purpose of dating was never about testing a man's bank account. It was about learning if you share values, direction, and respect. Somewhere along the way, that got replaced with dinner tests and what can you do for me interviews. Men are not walking ATMs. They're human beings, emotional, complex, and yes, tired of being treated like a resource instead of a person. And yet, when men finally say, I'm done being used, they get labeled as broke or insecure. But let's be real, refusing to fund someone's entitlement isn't insecurity, it's boundaries. And in this generation, boundaries are mistaken for weakness because they stop the flow of free benefits. So when she acts confused that men are checking out of modern dating, the answer's simple. They're tired of being investments with no return.
What a weird day. Now I'm just standing here, gonna order an Uber myself. Something that I did not like on the date was he kept calling me spießig, which I'm interpreting as negative. He was suggesting like, yeah, let's go in the hot tub. And I was like, well, not on the first date. I just feel like he had kind of like an idea of who I am as a person, and then it kind of did not fit what he thought, who he thought I was. And then kept calling me spießig the whole time. I really did not like that because I'm taking that very negatively. Because he kept calling me spießig, I asked him to rate the date from a 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst. He rated it a 6. Maybe that's just the German directness. Kept calling me like typical Munich person. Not that I'm taking it personally, but I'm definitely like thinking he's reading me wrong. He seemed kind of disappointed. And we also had a few awkward hugs at the end, so the thing is, we've seen each other throughout the years, but we've always seen each other at festivals and out partying. I told him that. I was like, you've always seen me in like a party situation. Like, what should I do? Jump around and scream now like I'm at a festival? Like, I don't know what you want from me. We're sitting on a couch. Like, of course I'm going to be a little bit less whatever. I swear, I cannot make this up. Not my Uber driver playing sad classical music, and all I can think is spießig. Spießig. Spießig.
Be prepared to split the check. Yeah, the men here do expect the woman to have it all together. So don't be surprised if you have to split the bill.
Another thing, if you're dating a German and he asks you for a date, make sure you carry your own money, guys. Make sure you carry your own money.
In Germany, if you did not know, it's really common here for when two people go on a first date that they split the bill. So like the woman pays her portion and the man pays his portion. Let's say I got a margarita for $8 and he just got water, you know, free water. When the total bill comes out, it's very common for the man or whoever to be like, hey, I didn't drink that margarita.
Imagine being so entitled that paying for your own meal feels like an insult. That right there tells you everything about how backwards modern dating has become. We've reached a point where some people believe basic self-responsibility is beneath them. The idea that you should contribute or even offer to pay is treated like blasphemy. But here's what they don't want to admit: men didn't suddenly stop paying out of stinginess. They stopped paying because they finally caught on. See, when you've got a generation of women who treat dates like mini sponsorships, showing up with no real interest, just an appetite, men start noticing patterns. They start realizing that not every date is about connection. Some are just about collection. Free meals, free drinks, free validation, rinse and repeat. And now, when those same women run into men who say, "Nah, I'll cover mine, you cover yours," suddenly it's, where have all the real men gone? No, the real men are still here. They've just evolved. They've learned that respect goes both ways, and that paying for dinner doesn't mean paying for disrespect. So no, it's not that men are cheap. It's that men are alert. They've seen the game, and they're no longer volunteering to be played.
Mine again. I feel like a lot of them are really insecure, and if you are a baddie, they are going to shame you for this. On Friday night, I was in the club with my friends. At some point, there's a guy who comes and talks to me. So he asked me, "What are you doing for a living?" But I don't want to give him my real job, so I just said I'm a fitness influencer. And his reaction was like, "Oh no, not a fitness influencer. You're not doing this." Like, I said the most disgusting thing ever. And I was like, what? That's so weird. I mean, who cares? But I feel like these guys, they cannot handle when a girl goes online and gets attention from other men because she's pretty, because she's hot or whatnot. But what I don't like is that you're trying to shame me for something that has nothing to be ashamed about. I think it's giving small PP energy.
Let's be honest. We can all read between the lines here. When a woman's main form of attention comes from flaunting her body online, it tells you exactly where her validation comes from. And any man with self-respect, he's not signing up for that chaos. Because here's the reality. When someone is addicted to attention, no amount of loyalty will ever be enough. You could be the most solid man on the planet, but if her dopamine hit comes from likes, comments, and DMS, you're not her priority. Her audience is. That's why men who value peace, privacy, and purpose don't chase women who live for the algorithm. It's not insecurity, it's discernment. Why compete with the internet for your own partner's focus? Why invest in someone whose self-worth rises and falls with her engagement rate? The truth is, the modern attention economy has created a new kind of relationship trap. One where validation is public and loyalty is optional, and men are waking up to it. So when a woman constantly posts provocative content and still expects to be treated like a mystery, men see the contradiction. You can't market yourself to the world and then demand exclusivity. That's not empowerment. That's confusion. And no man with dignity is going to build his peace around someone addicted to proving their value to strangers.
Dating in a stingy country. Girl, if you live in Germany, Switzerland, where else are the stingy places? Denmark. See all them European countries, yeah? I don't know why they are so stingy over there, but they are hella stingy. Do you know, the stingiest men that I have come across have been German men. Very weird. What the hell is that about? It's giving misogyny. Stinginess is a form of misogyny. I'm sorry, you don't want to give a woman money. That's bare weird. That's super weird. You want to siphon my energy, but you don't want to give me money, knowing that a woman is always going to need money. And it's not even from a place of me being poor or needy or desperate. It's just the reality that, like, that money will bring ease to my life, but you'd rather hoard it. That's so weird. You don't want to pay it forward. Ugh. You don't want to redistribute your wealth. Weird. You don't think I'm deserving of reparations? That's strange.
All right, hear me out. Is it just me, or is American women just going all downhill? I learned this because, to be honest with you guys, I've been traveling for over a year. I've been to 10 different countries. I've learned this. These girls in America don't understand that their standards need to go all the way down here. If they actually want to find a man, don't date American women. These girls don't understand how it is to be feminine or even to cater to their man, not being submissive or controlling, being committed, being loyal, showing their man that they actually care. Yeah, American women don't know how to do that. Go to Asia, go to South America, and believe me, you'll think.
Whoever started the stereotype that French guys are so romantic was lying. What would you do if a man texted you and asked you out to dinner and named a specific restaurant and then never confirms it, and then you don't hear from him the whole next day? Then when you finally do hear from him, he says, "Hey, sorry, I'm really broke right now, but I saw that you have a really huge kitchen. Can I come over and cook for you instead?" I used to never talk about what dating in Paris is actually like because I was always scared that these guys that I'm dating would see this on TikTok, but you know what? I have nothing left to lose. He texts me and he's like, "Let's go to this restaurant if you're down." And I'm like, "Of course I'm down. It's one of my favorites." The day of the date, I don't hear from him the whole day. And in my head, I already decide, I'm like, I'm not going. Like, I'm not gonna text a man ever and be like, "Are we still hanging out tonight?" Or like, "What time are we meeting?" Just say, okay, I get it. We've all been there. There's been periods where I have no money, but like, one, maybe don't say that to a woman that you're trying to date who's also like younger than you and you also have a full-time job. Two, you suggested the restaurant. You suggested a restaurant in general. I'm literally honestly even embarrassed to like be sharing this story with you.
It's kind of ironic, isn't it? She's out there in France talking about how she can't find any bread, but let's be real, she's not talking about baguettes. That's the thing about some of these so-called soft life influencers. They chase luxury, but they can't sustain it without someone else footing the bill. They'll move across the world for the aesthetic, but then act surprised when the lifestyle isn't as effortless as it looked on Instagram. See? They want Paris without the price tag, the fantasy without the foundation. But life doesn't work like that. Eventually, the filters fade, and reality starts asking for rent money. And that's when you start seeing posts about how men aren't providing anymore, or the dating pool is dry. No, the issue isn't the pool. It's the expectation that someone else is supposed to keep you afloat. So yeah, maybe she couldn't find bread in France, but that's what happens when you depend on others to feed your lifestyle instead of learning how to build your own table. Thanks for watching. And if you're still here, make sure you hit that like button, not just for the content, but for every man and woman out there who still believe accountability never goes out of style.
That I have dated in different countries. I'm in Italy right now, having my morning cappuccino, and I have some thoughts. First thought is that this is going to be a little bit controversial, but the most chivalrous men, like opening doors, walking street side, that is an American chivalry culture. That particular type of chivalry is found in the southern USA, particularly in Texas. Problem is you have to deal with everything else that comes with that. But yeah, you can't really expect that type of chivalry that I have found in other countries. Even in the ones that I love, that I prefer to date in, like Italy, the chivalry it's not like that.
How difficult is it to meet a man in Thailand as a foreign woman? Okay, I know a lot of people who have met their long-term partners or husbands here. I did as a foreign woman, but I would say, generally speaking, most of my foreign friends that are women have found it very difficult to date, and ultimately it's been a big reason to leave. Maybe they love the lifestyle and they were here for a long time, but they were just like sick of the games. I mean, kind of like go figure, but most Thai and most foreign men are here for Thai women, not for foreign women. It's not all, don't come for me on that one, but yeah, I would say that I've known so many women who have ultimately left because they're like, look, I want to meet someone, I want to date. I'm sick of just like being played by these men. The dating pool tends to be really small for men who are interested in foreign.
You ever notice how some people travel the whole world looking for better men, only to end up facing the same exact problems wherever they go? At some point, you have to ask the uncomfortable question. Maybe it's not the men, maybe it's you. Because think about it, if no man in any country is willing to deal with your behavior, it might be time to stop blaming men these days and start looking in the mirror. Different cities, different accents, same results. What's the common factor? You are. And look, no one's saying men are perfect. Far from it. But statistically, logically, emotionally, it just doesn't add up that every man you've dated is toxic, controlling, or immature, when every story ends the same way, and you're the only recurring character. That's not bad luck. That's a pattern. What we're seeing is a generation that treats self-reflection like a personal attack. Accountability feels offensive because it challenges the victim narrative. It's easier to point outward than to admit, maybe my standards, my attitude, or my entitlement pushed people away. But here's the truth. The moment you stop blaming the opposite gender and start auditing your own behavior, life changes, relationships improve, respect returns, because self-awareness is still the most underrated form of attraction. So no, it's not that all men are the problem. It's that too many people refuse to consider they might actually be the common denominator.
And what gave you the confidence? Delusion.
Not expecting when I moved to England was how big of a difference dating here compared to an American city is. Like, was not expecting it at all. Specifically the bar scene and how guys go about approaching girls at the bar. A pub, a club, whatever you want to freaking call it. In the US, I feel like it's pretty common if you're sitting at a bar and you see a cute guy or a cute girl and you guys kind of exchange looks a couple times, like, you know the look. If the guy finds you attractive, he will approach you. Or if it's a group of guys and a group of girls, like, same thing, right? Here, no. We had this discussion with an entire group of Englishmen, so I'm not just making this up. We were out with a couple friends and we were grabbing drinks and we saw this big group of guys, and so, like, we were kind of giving them, like, the eye, you know, we wanted to chat with somebody. I swear to God, they were just, like, a half hour later, they were, like, 2 steps closer to us. And then a couple minutes later, like, a couple steps closer to us. It took them almost an hour to get near us. They were like, we didn't know you guys were American. British girls would have just, like, came up to us. Like, we gave you the look. Like, you were supposed to approach us.
Genuine question. Is there something in the air in Australia? Because why are the men not menning? Like, how do I explain this? The roles are reversed here lately. I travel a lot, whether it's interstate or overseas. There's a dramatic difference of how men talk and carry themselves in different countries and Australia. I don't care if you're from Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Queensland, wherever the hell you're from. Men in Australia want to be chased. Men in Australia are the ones that play hard to get. They don't choose the restaurants to go to. They take longer to get ready than the females. They don't spoil women. Random people in America, for example, have given me roses on the street. Like, oh, you're so beautiful, shawty. Here's a rose. I'm like, oh my God. Like, high-value women that work, look after themselves, and spoil themselves don't ask for much when it comes to a high-value man. We just want constant time, affection, love. It's not that hard to send a text message saying, be ready by 6. I booked a restaurant. I want to see you. Can't wait.
So, just got back from my nephew's 21st birthday party, and tonight just confirmed why I cannot live and date in South Africa. So, me and this lady who was sitting next to me, I'm 37, no kids, no man, never been married. She's 46, same situation, never been married, no kids. And we were saying to him, he's married, he's got 4 kids. And he was saying to us, we were saying to him, look, we're both single, because he was asking about our marital status. And we were like, oh, can you hook us up with any single friends that you know? And he was like, no, because at your age, you're just too old to have a boyfriend or a partner or to get married. The competition, you're competing against younger girls, and us men, there is a queue of women waiting to be with us. So you just need to accept that you're too old to find someone. Bearing in mind, this man's belly was down to the floor. The audacity.
So yeah, if you're wondering how dating is going in Dubai, I need to stop doing plot. Like, I need to not. I just need to stop.
If you made it this far, you already know. We don't sugarcoat the truth here. We break it down, call it out, and let the facts speak louder than the feelings. So if you enjoyed this one, trust me, you're going to love what's coming next. Because the next video, it dives even deeper into the same double standards and delusions that keep the dating world upside down. Don't miss it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay grounded, and remember, truth always wins in the end.